good morning, everybody. It's great to be back at Saturday School. I've made some amazing friends from so many times that I've presented here, so it's really good. And I'm always talking to Simon about just what is going on the LinkedIn platform. Good morning, good morning. Ah, love it, loving the love, loving the love. And wasn't Claire awesome? I've known Claire for a few years now. We did a business retreat together quite a few years ago. And it's just amazing the kind of people that you meet when you hang around the right individuals. So yeah, a massive kudos to the lovely Claire. And good morning to everybody who is saying good morning, Queen of LinkedIn. Thank you very much, Ankuri. Yes, that is what I'm branded as. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story in a bit, but I'm really excited today because look, it's January 2022. And, in most cases, if you were thinking about joining LinkedIn and learning more about it and using it more effectively in 2021, but you just didn't get around to doing it, well, look, there is no better time than now. Over the last 2 years, during the pandemic, really, LinkedIn, they were brilliant before that. It's just a lot of people had myths around that, which we're going to cover. But also, they have absolutely exploded their reach, their offering, their platform over the last 2 years, especially for people like you and I, entrepreneurs, business owners, whichever way you're going, whether it's sole trader or limited company, but people who want to, build a business, whether it's online, whether it's bricks and mortar, whatever it is, but want to build a business that's going to allow them to have a recurring income and more freedom to do the things that they love. So it is the platform for people like you and I, whereas there's been a few myths that it isn't. So I'm going to share some slides in a bit, but I'm going to share with you exactly why you should be on there. And if you have seen me before, because I know some of you will have done, then honestly hang about, because the presentation will be fairly different from the last time because of how fast this particular platform is moving forward. So you do not want to miss some of the new things that have come. So I'm just going to share my screen, and in the chat box, if you could just give me a quick yes if you can see the screen, that would be awesome. Oh, thank you very much. Brilliant. So look, let me start off. Thank you very much for all those yeses. So let me start off, first of all, by asking you guys a question. And if the answer to this question is a yes, put number 1 in the chat box. Are you looking forward to wanting to learn how you can get more organic leads coming through to your business? Perfect. Just want to make sure I'm in the right place. Thank you, Don, Leon, Adrian. You're all coming through with a yes or a 1. So yeah, awesome. Perfect. So that's good. And I'd like you to put a 2 in the chat box if you're not just looking for leads to come into your business, but you'd like to be considered and positioned as the preferred expert in your niche against your competition. So put a 2 in the chat box if that is important to you. Brilliant. So thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Carol, Joanna, Rosemary. Perfect. They're all coming through. Brilliant. So look, at least I know I'm in the right place, because over the next sort of 90 minutes, I'm going to share with you exactly how you can do both of those things. And, the strategies that you absolutely must have, like the must-have essential ingredients to have a very clear LinkedIn marketing plan that, by the way, is not as overwhelming as some of you might think, in order to be able to get through, to your ideal clients on LinkedIn. So look, obviously there's over 100 people on this call. Look, maybe you're somebody who is, has been thinking about using LinkedIn, but just feel overwhelmed by it. And so haven't really known what to do and how to go about doing it, basically. Possibly you're somebody who has been on LinkedIn, but, have had a CV, have had your profile up there for many, many years, and it looks more like a CV, and that's pretty much it. And you haven't really done anything with it, and therefore you haven't really used it. Maybe you're somebody who'd never thought that LinkedIn was actually a platform for people like you and I, business owners and entrepreneurs, because you felt that it was more of a recruiting platform. It was only for business to business. It wasn't really for the person who's selling a service or a product. Perhaps you're somebody who has been using LinkedIn and you just don't seem to get any return on your investment of time. You don't seem to get any leads coming through. In fact, you get a lot of sales messages and you just feel that it's not the right platform. Or it could be that you're simply somebody who does want to use LinkedIn more effectively, but just don't know where to start. And therefore, you've kind of avoided the platform because you've tried to get other platforms to work for you even better. So if that's kind of where you are at the moment or something along those lines, then where do you want to be instead? That's the key question to ask, isn't it? Because when it comes to LinkedIn, where you want to be is in a place where you are now being more visible and seen by your ideal clients as opposed to just anyone and everyone. You see, now you're in a position where the stuff you're putting out there, just like Claire mentioned, is not only getting more engagement and more views, but as a result of that, you're now getting messages and inquiries directly into your DMs. Where you are at the moment, the place that you want to be, picture this. LinkedIn is now your primary platform for attracting leads for absolutely free. And not only that, not only are you getting invitations to be on podcasts or stages or Zooms like this, you're getting invitations to speak about your area of expertise. You're being seen as the expert, so you're being asked to come along. And the time that you're spending on LinkedIn is now warranting you money. In fact, now you're on LinkedIn because your competition are also looking up to you. They're wondering what you're doing on this platform that they aren't doing because you're getting the right customers. And look, more importantly, LinkedIn is now working for you, whereby you're not getting those customers you hate. The ones who are time wasters, don't really take any action. Instead, you're getting the individuals who absolutely know that you are the right person for them. You're getting clients that you enjoy working with, and you're building long-term relationships. So it's really interesting, isn't it? Because I heard a quote today from one of my mentors who said that you need to be the client that you want to receive. Like, you need to be the client that you want to receive. In order for clients to be able to see you, you've got to be visible. In order for clients to know that you are the right person for them, you have to show up and show them that you're the right person for them. So in order to get from that place of overwhelm, not really sure that LinkedIn is right for you, knowing that you've got to use it, but you have no idea why, to the point where you're now getting regular leads from that platform, the question is, how do you get there? And the way to get there is using this platform more effectively through visibility, because that is the key. So let's just look at, first of all, because some of you may be asking this, let's just look a little bit at why LinkedIn, because that's a key question that most people ask. So why should you be using LinkedIn? There are a number of reasons that some people don't necessarily know about. So I'm going to go through them before we then get down into the further details of different features within LinkedIn. So first of all, let's look at some of the myths that people have about LinkedIn. Let's look at the reasons why people don't use it, because maybe that was you, or that has been you, but you know that this is no longer true. So let's look at some of the myths. So first of them, it's only for corporates or business to business. So if you guys are in you're part of Simon's Saturday School. So if you've got an online business, you've got products or an e-commerce business, or whether you're in the business where you're a service-based business, the truth is that your clients are on LinkedIn. And later on, I'm going to show in the presentation exactly why this particular platform is more powerful than any other platform out there. Second, oh gosh, do I have to post every day? It's another platform. It takes up more of my time. Now, here's the amazing thing about LinkedIn. You don't have to post every day. In fact, posting just once a day will get you the visibility that you need. So you need to drop that perception altogether. My clients are not on LinkedIn. Again, that is an old belief that we hold on to that is actually stopping us from getting in front of more and more clients. Because I am on LinkedIn, because I am visible, my clients are, experts, business entrepreneurs, service-based industry clients, coaches, consultants, speakers, trainers. I could easily say, because I'm not a corporate, my clients are not on LinkedIn, but that is not true. Okay. Fourth, I post a lot from my company page. So people tend to think that because it's a professional platform, you should only post from your company page, your business page, if you like. But that isn't true. And if you're doing this, if you're making this mistake where you're just posting from your company page, that's one of the reasons why you're here, to learn how not to do it. Okay. It's only me. It's only for me if I am looking to find a job. Now, yes, it has been a great platform for hiring and for recruiting, and that still is the case for that particular industry. But it doesn't mean it takes anything away from people like myself, like you, entrepreneurs who want to actually, grow your visibility and grow your personal brand. It doesn't work for me. Look, here's the thing, right? You just don't know what you don't know. And that is the case with anything, isn't it? Whatever business you're in at the moment, just think about when you didn't know about that business or didn't know about that area of expertise. You went about and you actually went and learned it. You found out more about it. You immersed yourself in the experience of knowledge, of increasing your knowledge and know-how around it, so that you became an expert at it. So you don't know what you don't know, so it's not your fault. It's just that you need to know how to use it more effectively. Once you do, you'll realize that it is actually for you. And it's boring and I can't be myself. Well, there was probably some truth to this a very, very long time ago. But really, LinkedIn is almost like the new Facebook, but just in a much nicer and professional way. It's a new Facebook because it is about showing people who you are and growing your personal brand. Because it's true, isn't it? Like, people buy from people. We've heard it all the time. It sounds like a cliche, but that's actually very true. People buy from people. There are millions of followers to Richard Branson, but there are only tens of thousands followers to his business, Virgin Media. And that's where you know that it's all about being yourself and being real, because that way you will attract the right people instead of trying to attract everyone and getting no one. So by being yourself, you disqualify people too. Because look, this presentation, it is about LinkedIn, but ultimately it's about marketing. It's about marketing your product, your service. And the truth is marketing is also a disqualification process. You might want to write that down. It's a disqualification process, which means that the more you show up, the more you're visible, the more you get out of your way and shine a light on your brilliance, even when you've got competition, you will disqualify the people who aren't right for you anyway, because they don't resonate with you, and that's okay. All right. So let's look at why LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, as I mentioned earlier, is the new Facebook. So it now has over 800 million users. And remember, these are users, so they're all individual profiles. And this is growing by 2 members every second. So you can see the speed at which LinkedIn are growing. Now, what makes this an amazing platform is this is a platform where people do business, right? So you may think that, well, obviously there's billions of users on Facebook, but always remember that Facebook is not predominantly for people who want to showcase their business. It's a social platform. It is a platform for, families to reconnect with one another, friends to put out their pictures when they've been on a night out. And I'm not saying it's not used for business, because I use Facebook too, but LinkedIn, its 800 million users are more targeted. So that's right. And the truth is, especially in 2022, and I was saying this in 2021, if you ignore it now, you will get left behind, because the way that LinkedIn are moving forward, it's at a ridiculous rate. And, we don't, at the moment, it is still one of the best platforms for organic reach. What you don't want to do is enter the platform and then try to build your profile when you're against so much competition that you have to actually pay for the visibility. There are actually some statistics here. There are actually 90 million LinkedIn users who are senior level influencers. Okay. And 65 million are in decision making positions. So if you think about it, all those years ago when, and I don't know if some of you are as old as me, but many, many years ago when I used to work in sales, to get through to a decision maker, I had to go through, the people who stop you, the PAs, the receptionists, the gatekeepers, basically. Whereas now this platform allows you to reach and engage your prospects at the right time and in the right context, because its algorithms are really quite clever. So when you're not on the platform, it will show your posts to people who are actually online. So it won't waste showing your platform in somebody's newsfeed if they're not online. So it's really clever the way their algorithms work. 80% of business to business leads, or business leads rather, come from LinkedIn versus 13% on Twitter and 7% on Facebook. Look at that difference. So if you're in any doubt whether leads would come into your business from LinkedIn, here it is. And I'm going to tell you a little bit why. 79% of business owners, marketers basically, because if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, you are a marketer, they see LinkedIn as an effective source of lead generation. And here's another amazing stat, that LinkedIn message ads, so message ads that are delivered within the LinkedIn platform have a 40% conversion rate and a 52% open rate. Now, if you think about emails coming into your inbox, if you've got, or emails that you might be sending to people, to your email list, to your clients, to your prospects, and you're doing it through a CRM, it has an 18 to 23% open rate if it's email to email. But on LinkedIn, in the direct messenger, it's a 52% open rate because there is much more of a trust element already built into that platform. Okay. LinkedIn lead generation. So here are the stats that you definitely want to know about for this year. So exposure on LinkedIn can increase purchase intent by 1/3. So when you are seen on LinkedIn by your ideal prospects, it will increase their intent to purchase by 33%. I mean, these are when I think about these type of statistics, it's, for me, I'm like, why am I actually missing out on potential free organic leads when all I need to do is show up once a day, and we're going to talk about the type of content that you can create some content. Okay. 4 out of 5 people on LinkedIn actually drive business decisions, because the truth is we all want to get in front of the decision maker, don't we? So 4 out of 5 people actually drive business decisions. A LinkedIn audience delivers a buying power that is 2 times more than an average web audience. So again, ridiculous success rates. And just connecting with one person. Now, you've heard the phrase, your network is your net worth. But just by connecting to one individual as a first-tier connection, it introduces you to 400 additional connections and gets you access in front of 100 companies. So if you are aiming to, get your product into companies, again, look at the reach that this platform has. Okay, and don't worry, I will be taking questions. So, keep your questions until the end so that I can then, just in case I cover the question that you've got, and then I'll answer all the questions. So I will come to you. Don't worry. So look, if that hasn't convinced you already, just some of those stats, and I couldn't even put them all on because I've only got a limited amount of time today. It's a bit like what Claire was saying, like we want to just show you and share with you so much, but we can only do so much. Look, LinkedIn is the ideal platform to attract opportunities because the platform is all about social networking. So what do I mean by that is, when you go on other platforms, it is a social media platform, whereas LinkedIn is a social networking platform. So it's all about building relationships and forming those long-term clients that will then buy from you. So, and the great thing about networking on this particular site is that everyone on that site is serious about doing business. It's a bit like, when now that we're able to do this again, going into, I mean, I'm at an event today, so behind me is a hotel and it's one of the rooms that we've got. But imagine going into a massive big hotel where you walk into a networking room and it's full of your ideal prospects. Yeah. Now, you wouldn't just go up to them and sell to them. What you would do is you start to build relationships. And that's what LinkedIn is all about. And that's why it differs from a lot of the other platforms. LinkedIn is also the best platform to get you the most organic reach. Now, you may have heard lots of people talk about, especially if you if you follow people like Rob Moore and big sort of entrepreneurs out in in the world, they will talk a lot about the creator economy, because that's what we're in, and it is a lot about organic reach. It's not just about paid. So it's really important that we take advantage of that, especially if you're starting out in business. If you're on this call and starting out in business, you might not have the budget to put hundreds and hundreds of pounds behind Facebook ads or YouTube ads or Google ads, that kind of stuff. So where else are you going to get your leads from? Well, hopefully you're going to get them organically from in this manner, and that's why LinkedIn is brilliant. And if you just just to think about the reach LinkedIn received just in between September to November 2021, they received a total of 4.1 billion visits during those 3 months in last year. So again, just looking at the power of this platform. The other reason why LinkedIn, because if you remember earlier, I talked about one of the myths, and that is, my clients aren't on LinkedIn, so why would they search for me on LinkedIn? Well, here's the truth. LinkedIn, one of the reasons why it's amazing for organic growth is because it's considered an authority domain by Google. So Google rank websites and they measure them out of 100%, and LinkedIn is measured 100 out of 100%. So it is a full-on authority domain. So what happens is when you optimize your profile, when you optimize the content, when you put the right content out for your ideal prospects, you'll actually rank high on Google as well. So you get SEO ranking, search visibility over time, but you will be on the first page of Google. So I've got 6 strategies that I'm going to share with you. And out of that, we're going to delve into a few of them at a much deeper level. But let me just go very quickly introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, just out of interest, in the chat box, I'd love to know if you have seen me present before. Just in the chat box, if you just add that in. If you say, just put a yes if you've seen me. Oh, you don't need to say sorry. It just be good to see how many people. Perfect. So we've got a good few people, and lovely to have new people on as well. So long time ago, Anwar says. Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. So for those of you who don't know me, and maybe for those of you who saw me a long time ago, Anthony, you saw me at EMC. Anthony, are you related to Sarah? Sarah Abel? Yes. Oh, bless. Oh, she's your wife. We love Sarah. We love Sarah. Oh, lovely, lovely. See, now I feel like I'm at home even more. So let me tell you a little bit about me for those of you who don't know me. So for many, many years, about 17 actually, so a lot of years, I know I look young for my age, I worked in the world of recruitment. So you can imagine that LinkedIn was definitely the #1 platform for me. And through my time in recruitment, I was just by using the platform, I attracted many, many clients, many candidates, and made a lot of money as a result. Now, here's the interesting thing. I didn't have any strategy when I was using LinkedIn, but because I was all about community and building relationships with my clients, and that's what made me a very different recruiter to my competition, I was getting a lot of the business coming through to me because they felt like they already knew me. So, I had a very successful career whilst doing that. But then in 2012, I decided that I wanted to start my own business because during my time at working in recruitment, I got into personal development. That's actually how I met Simon Colson. I was a coach that worked with Andy Harrington. And, I became an NLP trainer, a personal development coach, and then I was training other recruitment companies and their teams on how to actually build relationships using LinkedIn and using the power of, just my area of expertise around recruitment. But when I started my business, I knew that I would definitely do well. That was oh my God, this is going to be a cinch. I'm going to do amazingly well. So I put all my ducks in a row. I got my business cards done. I got a logo done. I got letterheads done. I built a website. It was all going to be McDreamy. And what was going to happen was the clients were going to come racing into me because I was already well known. But remember, I was well known in recruitment, not in coaching and mentoring. So what ended up actually happening was I started to chase the money instead of the money coming to me. It was really hard work. I was trying to look for clients. I was trying to, sell to them. I didn't really know them. It's almost like it became inconsistent the way that I was building this business. And what ended up happening was, rather than build a business going towards mentoring, training, and coaching, I ended up taking whatever business came to me. So whatever I could have, I took it on. And some of you may resonate with this, because when you first start out in business, especially if you haven't got a coach or mentor or etc., you don't really know what you're doing, and you just kind of, learn as you go along. So I ended up taking business in wherever it came from, which only made me more miserable, because I ended up having to take recruitment jobs. And the whole idea to come out of recruitment was I didn't want to do that anymore. So it felt like hard work, and I just felt down on my luck. And honestly, I felt like giving up. And then I got a phone call from a particular client, and they said to me that, oh my God, they'd found me on LinkedIn. Now, I'd stopped using LinkedIn, which was a weird thing, because I just thought, just like you probably, that it's only good for recruiters and, big corporate. So I'd stopped positioning myself on LinkedIn. And they said that they'd found me, but they also said that they'd almost walked on by, because it's only when they looked closely that they realized that I was a trainer and not a recruitment consultant. And that really got me thinking. It got me thinking that actually what I thought my profile was positioned as was not what they were seeing. And you may resonate with this as well, that look, sometimes the way we see things is not how our clients see things. And that's why we have to always think about the client that we're trying to attract. So I ended up trying to find out exactly what it was that, because I knew that they found me on LinkedIn, so this must be good. And I decided to go back to the platform and find out exactly what it was that I needed to do. So I changed a few more things on my profile, and I made a few tweaks from my experience from before. And interestingly, the client that had contacted me, who had nearly walked on by, they were worth 25K to me. So that was a nice little injection when I was starting out in my business. But here's the thing that got me thinking. If Athona Recruitment almost carried on and almost didn't ring me, how many more clients had gone past my profile because I hadn't actually positioned myself the right way? So that's when I got learning all about the platform, decided to go and do courses, learned from some of the top trainers that LinkedIn had, and learned everything I needed to, because like I said to you before, you don't know what you don't know, so you've got to go out and just learn it. So that's when I started to attract more and more clients. And that time I was doing recruitment training. So I had DNA, multinational company, Aquent, also a global company, obviously Athona. But I also started to attract other companies. I had an aircraft charter, and I went in and trained their recruitment teams. So everything was looking good. And I knew that this was where I needed to be. And as a result of my success on LinkedIn, other entrepreneurs, because I was in the entrepreneurial circle, they started coming to me and saying, hang on a second, that thing that you've been doing? We would love to know how you do that on LinkedIn. Like, how are you getting the leads in? So still not thinking that I would run any workshops, I just thought, oh yeah, I'll help you out. So I started helping, fellow entrepreneurs and fellow friends of mine to also get success on LinkedIn. And that's how I then created a strategy, because a friend of mine said to me, you do know that you are one of the best trainers out there. So, you know, I've been to other LinkedIn courses, and what you have and give is amazing. You should do more of this and share this with more people. So that's when I started to put this together. And interestingly, I then moved over from being a recruitment trainer to actually help people with their LinkedIn marketing. And since then, I've been speaking at many, many events, sharing my knowledge, know-how, and wisdom to lots of different people about how they can actually increase their knowledge and know-how around LinkedIn so that they can start attracting leads. I've spoken at events, I've spoken at workshops. This particular picture actually is at the Simon Colson event when the last one he held, I think, just before COVID struck back in 2020. So I was there, so some of you may have seen me there. I started to run my own workshops and teach the strategies that I now know. Since then, I've run workshops, and since 2020, my workshops have been on Zoom, so I've been able to reach more and more people and help more and more people from the comfort of their own home. And I love more. I love nothing more than just working with my clients and helping them achieve their goals, because I've been where you are. I've been at the startup stage. I've been at the frustrating stage, and that's why I really, really enjoy what I do. And that's why hopefully you can all recognize this, especially the ones that have seen me before, that every time I come to Saturday School or every time I speak, I for me, it's just a passion. I'm also a #1 Amazon bestseller and also a TEDx speaker. And even promoting myself as that on LinkedIn and doing it the right way has got me lots of other opportunities. So let's now talk about what your success formula should be when it comes to LinkedIn. Right, let's just have a quick check-in with all of you guys. Yeah, the old days, absolutely, of cool. So just, yeah, absolutely, Unra. It's all about perception, isn't it? Are you enjoying it so far? Give me a yes if you're enjoying it. Anthony, you were in recruitment for 14 years. Small world. Perfect. Good. Thank you, Lorena. Thank you, Christopher. Yeah, good. Perfect. Well, if you've enjoyed that, that was just the beginning. And we're now going to go into some real key tactics about how you can also, make LinkedIn work for you. Right. Okay, here we go. So in my time, since I've been doing this, which has been around about 2014, 2015, I myself have been on LinkedIn since 2003. No, 2006. I was actually launched in 2003. So I've been on the platform for a long time. But what I've discovered is that there are 6 key areas, 6 key strategies that you need to master, all of them, so that you can also start to get the same sort of results that my clients have got on LinkedIn. Okay, so I'm going to go through each of them individually, and then we're going to delve deeper into some of them. So first of all, the very first thing that you need to do is you need to understand who your avatar is when it comes to LinkedIn. Now, some of you may think from me just saying this that, well, of course, in marketing, you've got to know who your customer is. Here's where LinkedIn is slightly different. Here's a mistake that a lot of people make when it comes to LinkedIn. They know who their client market is, but they do not know how they think. And when you don't know how they think and you don't really delve deeper into that ideal prospect, that you don't delve deeper into their pains and challenges, and you don't understand their wants, desires, and what the results that they want, what will actually happen is you will start to attract the wrong people. And here's why. Because one of the biggest mistakes that most people make is they build a profile that basically targets everyone and doesn't attract anyone, or it attracts all the wrong people. I'm sure some of you have often wondered, if you are on LinkedIn, oh my God, why am I getting all of these type of connections? And it's because you haven't thought about how your clients think before you've written your profile. You've understood the demographics, maybe, as in what age they are, what gender they are, what salary levels they are, what family lifestyle they have, but you haven't gone into their psyche. So, and what happens is when you start to then when you start to build your profile with the wrong information, and it's not customized for your ideal prospects, it doesn't connect with them. And when it doesn't connect with them, they won't want to connect with you. And when they don't connect with you, you end up either building a profile that is full of the wrong people in your network, or you don't get traction at all. And then it is a waste of your time. And the worst thing about that is that you will be missing out on leads that are ideal for you, and they'll be going somewhere else where they won't get served with the greatest intention. They won't get your experience, and they won't basically be able to have the product or service that you are definitely equipped to give them. Plus, your profile is the backbone of LinkedIn. So if you don't have that built on a strong foundation, what ends up happening is, even if you're doing everything else right, you're putting content out, you're putting all of those things out, you're building it on a house of cards, and it will come toppling down. So here's what happens when my clients learn the persuasive profiler. They don't just straight away go in and create a profile. What they do is they complete a 3-page avatar questionnaire, and we actually delve deeper with feedback. We delve deeper into their particular avatar, their ideal client. Who are they? How do they think? And just by understanding how to target them because of the way they think, suddenly your profile starts to attract more and more people, and more of the right people, because LinkedIn will measure you on how much of your profile is actually customized for your ideal target market. So that's the very first thing you have to get right, because it's the backbone of your LinkedIn marketing. Once you've got this right, then you can move on to the next part, because once you've got a great profile, you've got the shop window now, haven't you? And the shop window is built perfectly well. How do you get people walking by? How do you get people looking at that shop window? Well, the best way to do that, and Claire mentioned it earlier about content, because again, what many people do wrong on LinkedIn is they're not consistent with their content. So they will put the ad hoc post up. They won't put it up on a regular basis. They won't show up regularly. And you've heard the saying, haven't you? Out of sight, out of mind. That happens in every single scenario of marketing. If you're out of sight, you're out of mind. And the person who is in sight, that's the person that they will go to. It was really interesting when I asked you if you knew me, because so many of you said yes, either from Saturday School. Some of you said yes, so I don't know where you saw me. Others, like Anthony, said, EMC. So that's why Anthony and Anwar, I think, were able to say LinkedIn Queen, because that's how I've always been introduced. So my brand is already preceding me. So what do you need to do to ensure that your brand also is out there? Well, you need to create regular content. And we're going to talk a little bit about how content can be created in one of the modules. But content is absolutely king when it comes to marketing. And today, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever platform you are using, it's actually content that will bring you the leads. And not just promotional content, but content that shares your knowledge, know-how, and wisdom, because that's what will increase your personal brand. Next, once you're now bringing people in, it's like, what do you do with them? Well, you've got to build an affinity. So what do I mean by an affinity? Well, an affinity is where you build rapport, and you create conversations, and you build relationships. Business does not happen without relationships. And that's a great thing about LinkedIn, is it's a human to human platform. So those words, business to business to corporate, business to consumer, whatever it is, they don't count anymore. It is a humanized platform. And here's the great thing, LinkedIn want to keep it that way. So it's all about the connection that you have. Okay, so again, I'm just going to use Anthony as an example, because Anthony, you and I have never met. I've met Sarah through Clubhouse, and the fact that I already feel like we know each other, and that's because you were with me in a live environment. So when you start showing up through content on LinkedIn, and you start showing up through the different features that they've got for content, you automatically start to build a relationship. I think it was IBM that released a statistic that said that 60 or 70% of people have already made a decision to buy from a particular person or brand before they've even got on to actually speaking to them. Interesting, isn't it? And that's because of what they've seen online of them. Okay, so once you know how to build an affinity with them, because there's so many ways. And a lot of people do, and you may have received one of these actually. Have you ever got to a point on LinkedIn where you've connected with somebody and they've sent you a sales message straight away? Put down a yes if that's ever happened to you. There was a yes so quickly, Catherine. Uh, so that must have happened definitely. And straight away you're like, oh my God, I hate this platform. Yeah, it does. But here's the reason why. There are two reasons for this. One is either your profile is attracting the wrong type of people, or secondly, they do not know how to build an affinity. So it's all about how, the content that you create, how do you leverage all of that? And then how do you leverage it so that you can start to build connections? Okay. So it's really, really important that you connect with people, you start conversations, you use content, you comment on other people's comments. And I know it feels overwhelming and it feels like it's a lot of work, but I'm telling you it's not. Because you can spend 30 to 60 minutes a day on LinkedIn and get all of this done. And that's the great thing about a schedule. So what happens is when you start to build an affinity, you start to build a brand, and that brand gets built into a blueprint, so that the next time somebody thinks of your area of expertise, they straight away think of your name. I have lots of people coming to me, and I don't say this to brag, by the way. I'm definitely not a braggy type of person. I find this a surprise myself, because people come to me and go, oh my God, you know what? Every time I think of LinkedIn, I think of you. So it's really nice to know that I'm doing something right without having to be a salesy, sleazy social spammer. And the brand builder blueprint will allow you, all the strategies in this, it basically helps our clients become social sellers, not social spammers. Okay. So once you start doing all of these three things, now it's time to do the next thing, and that is really advertise yourself. So what do I mean by this? Well, ultimately here I'm talking about using assets to take people off of LinkedIn and into your own ecosystem. And again, Claire touched upon some of this very briefly very briefly to me, because I saw it towards the end of her slides, when she talked about MailChimp, for example, and ways to bring people into your ecosystem. It's really important, because remember, you don't own the data on LinkedIn. And also, if LinkedIn were to shut down tomorrow, which they won't, because they're backed by Microsoft, but if they were, then you would have all the people. So one of the key elements on LinkedIn is when people either promote too much and they don't ever do any more personalized content, or they don't promote, they don't really showcase what they do, but they talk about themselves all the time, and they don't think about how it's coming across. And they leave their relationship on the platform. What happens online must come offline, and that's one of the key things that we want you to remember. After that, you've got to understand how to take action. Again, biggest mistake that most people make is they either sell too early, which is what we just spoke about, or they don't sell at all. Look, if you guys are in business, whether it's you've got one business, 5 businesses, 10 businesses, or you're starting out in business because you're coming from an employment scenario, you are a salesperson, whether you like it or not. So start to love the action and the process of selling, because there is nothing wrong with selling as long as you're serving. But don't do it too early, and also don't miss out on doing it when you should, because so many people, like I said, either go in too early or they don't sell at all. And the whole idea of LinkedIn being a professional business connected platform is that it is somewhere where you can actually have business conversations. And then finally, the other area that LinkedIn is perfect for when it comes to you is to build your authority. Because remember, visibility creates authority, authority creates credibility, and credibility creates profitability. And LinkedIn have given you so many features. I still talk to people today and they're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that LinkedIn you could do that. So there are so many features, and they're launching more to help you, the creator and the user of the platform, control the narrative so that you can become that authority in front of your competition. And that's what we want to do. So when these are the 6 areas that I cover with my clients to support them, and we call this a LinkedIn Cash-in Converter program. So let's look at one of these areas, and then we've got 3 areas in total to look at. I'm just going to keep an eye on the time to make sure that I don't lose it. So let's look at the first one, and I'm going to give you 2 areas in this to consider. So first of all, we're going to look at parts of the profile. Now there is like I said, there's a whole strategy that I take my clients through when we go through the avatar, but let's just jump forward a little bit and go, right, well, once you've done that avatar, what are the things that you need to look at that can make a big impact? Now, I'm going to talk about, there are actually 21 points on your profile that you need to get right. Can you believe that? 21 points. But they're 21 points that will honestly give you a lead generating profile. And that's the key thing. I'm going to go through 2 of them today. So the first one I want to talk about is, one of the number 1 mistakes that people make is having a LinkedIn profile that looks like a CV, because it's driving people away. So if you think about the LinkedIn profile and the interface, if you think about a CV can be quite boring if it's only on white paper and it's just, a template that's laid out and there's nothing exciting to it. I remember when I was looking for a job myself many, many years ago. I'm just gonna have some water. I used to put my CV, on a cream piece of paper. And I also had a quote at the top. Nobody had that quote, only I did. Or nobody that I knew ever did a quote. So I already stood out because I just made it more impactful. So how do you do that on your LinkedIn profile? Well, here's a couple of examples. So I want to show you a few of my clients who have, redone their profiles and what the difference is. Okay. So first of all, this is Pamela Zormello, serial entrepreneur. By the way, she's corrected the serial already, so that's good. Now, the picture on the left is what she came to me with. Now, I'd already changed her headline, but that's what she came to me with. So we did a whole profile makeover where I redid the whole of her profile. Now, as you can see, what the difference is between that one and this one on the right. We did a really nice, we took our brand colors, we did a really nice, background image with some photographs. We got her profile picture, made a close-up of it. And when she came to us, she wasn't an all-star profile. She didn't have creator mode on, so we started creator mode, as you can see here. And then if you look further down on the right-hand picture, the bottom right-hand, it says all-star. We changed her profile into an all-star profile because prior to that, it wasn't. And here's the interesting thing. When you have an all-star profile, you're 40 times more likely to receive messages and opportunities coming to you. So that was one example. Another guy is Gary Taylor. Gary Taylor is in the property industry. And within the property industry, if you can see on the left-hand side, it was him. He just had his big logo at the top. Again, the picture was a bit far away. There wasn't really a headline that you could talk about. Creator mode wasn't on. So look at what we did. His cover profile now tells us what he does, whereas the logo didn't. Whereas his cover image on the other one does. We brought his picture a bit more forward. We also added his job title in. We changed his headline. We put creator mode. And again, it made a massive, massive difference. Orla, who's based in Ireland, she's a coach who helps retail businesses specifically. And again, a before and after there. Sorry about that. And just again, a more frequent picture, creator mode, headline, all of those things make an absolute big difference. And then Nikki Perfect. Now she is a hostage and crisis negotiator. That's what she used to do for the Met. And she now is a communications coach, and she's all about wanting to get more speaking opportunities and clients from LinkedIn. And this is what we changed it to. So can you see that there? And the headshot actually is from my own award-winning photographer, Jay Shah. Can you see what a difference that makes? Let's just go back and then look at this. Can you see the difference that this has made? Just put in the chat box if you feel that there's an impact between the pictures or between the before and after. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, there are, and this is just one of the points on that 21 pointer checklist, if you like, on your profile. So, you know, what that's that, and because the great news about this is because LinkedIn's kind of interface is quite boring, isn't it? It's white, blue, and grey. You can really play around with the pictures. And here's the interesting thing: a little bit of a tip. See this red circle around your profile picture? Behind that is also a video, a 30-second elevator pitch video, which my clients do when I give them a script on how to do that. Okay, but you can put an elevator video behind that. The second problem that people have with this particular area on the profile is most people receive no opportunities from LinkedIn because their profile attracts irrelevant connections. So we're now going to look at two parts we're now going to look at the second part of why this happens and a very crucial bit of real estate on your profile. And what I'm talking about is a memorable headline. So some of you who have watched me before may have actually done this exercise, but we'll do a quick one. So a memorable headline, okay? Because look, can you see this little picture? This picture isn't there just for fun. What you want to do is take up room, marketing space, if you like, in your ideal customer's head so that they think of you when they think of your area of expertise, okay? Or your product, if you've got a product. So you've got to have a memorable headline. So I did a bit of a search. I searched for I just muted myself. Sorry about that. So I searched for lettings agent on LinkedIn, and look what I got. I got a whole load of lettings agents. Sorry, I've just also gone back. Let's just go back. There we go. I got a whole load of lettings agents. With nothing exciting. I mean, how would I choose between all of these? Yeah. I then did one for entrepreneurs. And again, you know, there's a few people on there and I'm going, they're all entrepreneurs. Why would I choose any of them? What stands out about them? And then I also did one for photographers because one of my clients was actually Jay Shah, who is a personal branding photographer. And again, couldn't really see anything to differentiate all these people. In fact, the photographs of their own profiles are not a lot to go by. Would you agree? So if I'm looking for a photographer, I want to know that their headshot is actually a good headshot to begin with. So here's the interesting thing. When you have a headline, you want to think about what you're writing. So professional public speaker and coach, I help you speak confidently with authority, be memorable for all the right reasons. Helping your business to grow, profit, and to sustain through the implementation of laser-focused skills. Helping you to expand your business through empowering your future leaders. Helping you to communicate your company's brand story with the creative flair that you need. Dramatically increase the value, credibility, and visibility of your business with a powerful brand marketing strategy. And this was mine. This is actually an old one. I've changed mine since, which you'll be able to see. Providing individuals and organizations LinkedIn and public speaking training to help you be seen as an industry expert. And here's the interesting thing. So this is a client of mine. I'm just going to put my glasses on so I can read this. This is a client of mine. Now, she does artificial AI trading. That's what she used to do when she came to my workshop. And she sent me this about 2 months, I think it was, after the workshop. Hi Dee, just wanting to share something with you. A guy messaged me on LinkedIn last night after looking at my profile. We spoke on the phone this morning regarding our own trading strategies, and he told me he contacted me because of my strap line. You actually helped me with this on your LinkedIn course earlier this year. Anyway, he's only in North Harrow, so we've arranged to meet for a coffee, and he possibly will become an investor with me. Now, the minimum to invest on her trading platform, her AI platform, was £10,000. Now, he actually didn't invest with her, but he sent her 4 people who did. So she, from that one headline, and this is what I mean about the power of a headline, she managed to get £40,000 worth of business. Put number 5 in the chat box if you would like to earn £50,000 from from a headline. Good. Really, I should have all 100 of you putting in a 5 in here. So, but I appreciate that some of you may not be, maybe listening in the background. Hell yes. Yeah, absolutely. Love it, Anthony. Love it. Okay, brilliant. So let's look at, keep coming in. I love the fact that you bring money into it and the 5s don't stop. The 5s don't stop. Okay, perfect. So that was what was possible with a headline. So what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to just note down these 4 things. Here are the 4 things you absolutely must have when it comes to a headline. Okay, so it's got to have what you do, and these are ways that you can optimize it. So what you do, who you help, or who are your ideal customers if you're a product-based business, how you help them, and what are the results that they will get, or the outcome that they will receive as a result. So those are the 4 things you need on your headline. Okay. Just out of interest, once you've written those notes down, I'd love to know if you can just, as many of you as want to, if you just like to put what it is that you do. So, what is it that you do in the chat box? I just get an idea of the kind of people that are on this. E-com, yeah, you got an e-com site, language school, perfect. eBay reseller and coach. Ooh, cookware online. Business consultant, hospitality entrepreneur. I know a few of those. Affiliate marketer, yeah, perfect. Great for affiliate marketing, LinkedIn is. Career coaching, oh my God. I hope, Ruth, you are on LinkedIn because you are perfect. I've got an example of somebody who's in the public sector as well. Translation, awesome. We've got a nice little mix. We've got a nice mix of people. I'm loving it. Loving it. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad you are, Ruth. I'm glad you are. Meditation, relaxation, yoga. Yeah. We've got education consultant, AI. Awesome. So we've got a nice little mix, and network marketing as well. All right. Perfect. So now let's look at the next element that we're going to look at in this training. So we're now going to look at the consistent content cycle, because I know that content is the thing that most people struggle with when it comes to staying consistent. So I'm going to give you some ideas of the type of content that you can put out and how you can make it work for you. So a lot of people, what they do is they rely on Facebook for visibility by putting content out. And that's okay. But here's the problem. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get visibility, and here's why. Because it's a pay-to-play platform. Now, if you're putting content out which is just social content, that's different. But if you're putting content out that is to do with your business, and content out that highlights what your area of expertise is, or you're giving value and educating, then what Facebook want is they want you to pay for that privilege, because they don't want to spoil the user experience for their billions of just social media individuals. So they don't want people's news feeds full of educational stuff around an area of expertise, because they know that's a selling technique. So that's why LinkedIn is perfect, because the key to success and the key to using LinkedIn as a marketing tool is, and to attract and convert business opportunities, is absolutely 100% visibility. Okay. And that means that when you are seen more, you are then seen as a preferred expert of choice over time in your area. So here are 4 content pillars of the type of content that you can be creating and producing on LinkedIn that's going to get you attention. So the first is, you want to share personal-led stories. Personal-led stories are stories, that share, where you share your journey, where you share what you're doing, where you share your challenges, where you share your fun parts of what you like doing, your personalities, the books you like to read. Today I put yesterday, or the day before, I can't remember now, I put a post up about me just having fun with one of my mentors. And that was just a post. It was just about, the way that he helps make me think. But it was personal. It was showing people that I too am investing in myself. Because remember what I said earlier on, the quote, be the client that you want to receive. So if you want to receive clients who go into your coaching um, workshops or one-to-one coaching or whatever it is that you offer, well, you've got to also have a coach. Don't ever hire a coach that doesn't have a coach. Don't ever come to a marketing seminar with somebody who doesn't have a marketing coach. I have a marketing mentor, I have a speaking mentor, I have a business mentor. I have all of these people and a sales mentor. Because if I'm not advancing my own skills, how can I help you? So, being personal is about sharing your own journey. What are you doing? What are the challenges that you've had? Because remember, your clients are behind you, as in they're 2 steps behind you. So they want to know that you went through the same thing, but you also have come out the other end. But also fun stories, like, if you're going out, like, I shared a story about my niece and some of the things that she says to me, which make me laugh. So I shared a story about me and my dad on Father's Day. And you can do this on LinkedIn. So if anybody tells you can't, ignore it. And here are some examples of personal stories, okay? Just to give you a flavor. So this is Biliana. She's been in my mentorship group for now 2 years. And she actually had a whole business change. So she changed from one business. She was a digital transformation coach, and now she helps people with TEDx talks and helps them go viral. But you would not know from this post that she was a TEDx coach, because she's just sharing her hair journey. She shaved her hair off for charity, so she's just sharing the journey that she went through. And that's it. People get to know her, that what kind of person she is, because we do business with people. So, you can share stories like this on LinkedIn. Maria, she is an empowerment coach, and she's just recently become a TEDx speaker. She's also been part of my mentorship program for the last year now, I think. She's just said she helps employees who feel that they don't have a voice find their voice so that they can be promoted and get that extra salary or whatever it might be. So she just helps them feel empowered. And she talks about her own story. I couldn't say a word for most of my life, and then people click on the see more button to find out more about her story, and it's a beautiful picture of her. And then Lee Medway, who's actually in property. So she talks a little bit about, the type of content. So look, a couple of weeks ago, I was part of an awesome training session with Denita Patney, who showed us lots of ways to make the most out of LinkedIn. Since then, I focused more attention on utilizing it for the business. Now LinkedIn is a bit of a slow burn. Everyone is selling and it'd be quite overwhelming. So I've taken a slightly different approach. And without even trying, we've managed to generate 3 really strong leads and 5 pre-qualified pipeline opportunities in 4 days. Not every piece of content needs to sell directly. Not every message has to end in an appointment. It's about getting to know your audience, and just as important, give them the opportunity to get to know you. And that's the beauty about this. So that's all about putting personal content out there, okay? Next, you've got to give content that provides value. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is you've got to share your knowledge, know-how, and expertise around your own area, your own products, your own services. So, what is it that you help with when it comes to e-commerce? What is it that you help with when it comes to AI or affiliate marketing? What is it that you believe? So this is about sharing your beliefs and and stating your own strategies around your area of expertise. So when it comes to education, when it comes to career coaching, what is it that you believe is the difference that makes a difference, or the little things? So this is where you provide value. This can be tips, this can be little, like that's what I'm doing today. I'm providing value. Okay, so you've got to definitely create content that provides value. Third, you've got to create content about your professional industry. So, for example, in the education system over the pandemic, there were lots of changes, weren't there? So there could be further legislation changes coming up. So what are the legislation changes that are happening? What are some of the key changes around e-commerce, having an e-commerce business? What are some of the key changes that they might have when it comes to payment, when it comes to taxes, all of those things? So you've got to share content around your industry, because then you become a thought leader and you also become a trendsetter. newsletter. You're the one that people come to because they want to know what's happening in the industry. And you also get your competitors following you as well. And then finally, there's nothing wrong with creating content where you also promote and showcase your area of expertise. So this is where case studies, testimonials, offers, you can put all of that kind of stuff out here. All right. So that's some ideas. But what you don't want to do is make promotion the main part of your content. The other three have to be predominant, and promote is, a lesser amount. But it's almost like the personal, provide, and professional it earns you the right to be promotional. And that's why our relationships are built. Okay, because you don't want to sell something if you haven't earned the right. So let's look at some of the content features. And Claire mentioned one of them. She mentioned the one about newsletters. But look, I'm telling you now that these are just some of the ones that you can use, but how amazing they are. And if you're not using them, these are some of the things that algorithms are pushed for. So first of all, there's carousel posts that tell a story. You can put 8 to 10 pieces of images, and it's a really great way of and if you use Instagram, carousel posts are great. If you're doing a product, if you are actually selling a product or a shop front, an e-commerce business, carousel posts are brilliant. LinkedIn Lives, nobody does them enough. Every single one of you, if you are on creator mode, there is a very tiny criteria to meet, but if you meet it, guess what? You have LinkedIn Lives. And whereas LinkedIn Lives, they didn't give out to everybody. I had to apply for mine 3 times before I got it. And it was a long process, whereas now they want you to become the creator. Image-based posts, like I said, the news feed, if you need an image that is a scroll stopper, and then that is accompanied with long text copy or short text copy posts. So make the images count. Polls are madly popular, but they are a great way, but only if you leverage them afterwards. Remember what I said about, building an affinity? Don't just let the votes come in and then you ignore it and don't do anything with it. When I do a poll, eventually what I'll do is I'll start to create resources and assets from the answers and then put those assets out. And the newsletter feature that was rolled out late last year. It is one of the best features. You can see I'm getting really excited about this, but it is an amazing feature. So the newsletter feature is absolutely key, and here's why. Newsletter feature sits on their blog platform, which is where you normally write articles. If you have been writing articles on LinkedIn, that's where you go. But now you can publish it under a newsletter. Now, the very first time that you publish content underneath the newsletter and you publish it on LinkedIn, it will get every single connection. So if you've got 500 connections or if you've got 5,000 connections, every single one of them will get an invitation to subscribe to it. When they subscribe to it, every time you publish a newsletter, whether it's weekly, monthly, fortnightly, now not only will they see in their news feed, but here's the best bit, it will actually land in their email inbox without having to go into spam. That's the most exciting bit. So definitely use the newsletter feature if you're not using it already. Videos is continuing to be one of the best and biggest ways of connecting with one another and really feeling like you know the person. So it's all about getting videos out. And LinkedIn events. If you haven't yet run LinkedIn events, then you need to get on the ball. This is where you can run webinars, you can run lunch and learns, you can run presentations, invite people to it, promote it, and get people attending your event online or in person, even if you've got an in-person event. And now the biggest and most latest news, which I'm really awesome to announce to you. So I'd love to know in the chat box, can you tell me if you are on Clubhouse? These are all free features, by the way, not paid, free features. Let me know if you're on Clubhouse or any type of social audio, like Twitter Spaces or, yeah, Anthony, you would, yeah, don't worry, I'll tell you what Clubhouse is in a bit. Yeah, Telegram, yeah, perfect. So quite a few on Clubhouse. So Clubhouse is a audio platform. I joined it in December 2020. It took 2021 by storm, especially in the UK. and it's now both available on Apple and Android, and it's just a social audio platform. It's a bit like having a a podcast, but one where all of us get to have a chance to talk. So you can either listen to it or you can go up on stage and actually get involved in the conversation. Now, here's the most amazing thing. Social audio, well, audio anyway, is literally, hitting the world by storm. Sorry, let me just do this. Is absolutely taking off. Podcasts have taken off, etc. So it's a really great medium to actually connect with people on a global scale. So if you're looking to take your business global, this is a perfect opportunity on LinkedIn, because they have now launched, let me do that again. They have now launched LinkedIn Audio. Now, it's not available to everybody yet, not including me either, because it's sitting with beta testers. There are 200 beta testers, and I know many of them, because some of them I've met on Clubhouse, some of them sit actually on the board for LinkedIn, and they are creating a feature within LinkedIn, so you don't have to have a separate app. It is part of LinkedIn where you can now actually have conversations within a platform, the LinkedIn events platform, and you can actually just run rooms that you can then talk about and give value. It's amazing, and you can get more following. You can there's so much stuff around it. So if you haven't yet been in an audio room, just go into the search feature, type in hashtag LinkedIn audio events, and click on search, and you will be able to see some of the rooms that are being featured that have LinkedIn audio, and you can go in as a listener and just feel the experience. And just by going in as a listener, you will absolutely get followers, and that's what it's all about. Okay, so here's a few people that are just mad on content. So I mentioned Biliana before. She just put, Danita is behind my LinkedIn success. Let's just go further down. Thanks to her, I was one of the first people in the UK allowed to do LinkedIn Lives, doing stories and now doing newsletters. I love being a pioneer, as that brings me loads of customers and positions me as an influencer. She helped me to brand my new business back in the days when I started and get back to 11,000 plus followers, as I lost them with the change of a business industry. The strategy she gave me worked a magic to reposition. Every day now, I've got messages on LinkedIn from complete strangers asking to work with me. It's not easy to run a business, especially during a pandemic, and I highly value the accountability sessions. Thanks to her advice, she's a Bulgarian. Thanks to her advice, I've posted with 23,000 plus views and 250 plus comments. All my clients come from LinkedIn. 90% are organic reach, and my SSI is in the top 1%. Okay. And I just want to highlight this lovely lady, Joanna Corbishley. Can I just say that although my SSI has dipped, my business has not. I have implemented exactly what you asked us to do, and impact is this so far. Been engaged to help 2 small businesses with their apprenticeship. So who was it? Was it Ruth? Was it you that did public sector? So this is Joanna, who is worth having a look at. Circa 50K. Been asked to support some university work worth at least 10K. Result of my marketing on LinkedIn, I've been asked to support creation of new apprenticeship framework, circa 5K. I can't thank you enough, Dee. And just an update from me, just got 14K contract via LinkedIn for 12 days work, all thanks to you. She's now earned more than 75,000. And by the way, somebody asked whether it was a free or a paid feature. These 2 people, in fact, everybody that I know so far has done it on a free account. Okay. Sue Patel, she has now exceeded more than 100K. She's an HR coach. She now is actually more in crypto as well, but she's an HR coach. When she started with me, I've been using LinkedIn since attending Danita's course. I love it. I did the same challenge on the course, and now I am so consistent with posting and showing up. At this time, she had only, in 2020, she did my course at the end of 2019. And she had over 35K's worth of business through it. And now she's had over 100K. Okay. So that is 2 of the areas. Now, just a quick recap before we go into the 3rd area in a little while. So remember, all of these areas are ones that you absolutely need to master. So first of all, understanding who your avatar is so you can write the right profile. Then taking all the stuff that you've built in the avatar to create content that actually resonates and connects with your audience. Building an affinity to build your brand. Advertising, knowing how to take people off of LinkedIn and into your ecosystem, knowing how to sell on LinkedIn so you don't come across as a social spammer, and then understanding all the different features. So before we go into the third element that I'm going to teach you about, I want to take a few moments to just invite you to learn a little bit more about how, if you're interested, you could possibly work with me, and the 3-day implementation workshop that I run. So let me just go through a little bit about what it is that you will get from it. So first of all, you will literally walk away once you finish the 3 days. It's all delivered by Zoom. You will literally walk away with this whole LinkedIn marketing strategy. If you, after that, decided that you didn't want to work with me or didn't want to continue the journey for whatever reason, then you wouldn't even need to, as long as you kept abreast of doing all of these things consistently. And I don't leave anything unturned. I give you everything that you need. Okay, so we cover your profile. We cover how to create content. You get a content schedule. You also get a 30 to 60-minute schedule as well of how to split your time up. I talked to you about the social selling index score and how you can get it into the 70, 77 and above. We also do mind mapping exercises and create lead magnets so that you have something that you can then promote once you've had it designed and all that kind of stuff. We talk about the company page, LinkedIn events, LinkedIn newsletters, hashtags, because they're used very differently from, say, something like Instagram. We go through a sales process of how to sell on LinkedIn. And here's the best part. Because it's an implementation workshop, yes, implementation. You are not just there to learn, you are there to do. So you walk out with pretty much 70 to 80% of your profile done. The other 20% is because you might want to get something designed or the back, the cover image designed or whatever, but you walk out with everything, all 21 points done, and you walk out with an all-star profile there and then. So let me just talk to you how it works, okay? So first of all, on day one, we literally, well, even before you come to the workshop, you fill out the questionnaire and you bring that to the workshop. You send it to me beforehand. I give you feedback on it. And then on day one of the workshop, you are ready to start transferring the information from the avatar questionnaire into your profile. And the whole of day one is literally going through those 21 points and you doing them as well as learning them, okay? You also then, after we've done that, you learn everything about content. So how to write the right content, the content ideas. I give you resources and we do an exercise where you walk out with 30 ideas for your business. So after you leave the workshop, you don't even have to think about content ideas for the next month. You're already 1 month ahead. Then we go on to the building an affinity. So here you understand what kind of messaging campaign works, how you should email people, the way to write comments, the way to comment on comments. We also look at the social selling index score, which is basically how you can become a better social seller. And a social seller is somebody who sells without being sleazy. So we look at all of those elements. We look at groups and how to engage in groups, how to find your ideal followers. And the one most underused piece of feature on LinkedIn is the search facility. We help you to how to use search on a free account so that you can actually get in front of your customers quicker and easier. Then we look at how do you promote yourself? What's the best way to promote yourself? So we work on other marketing strategies like building a lead magnet, like so ideas of how you can bring people into your ecosystem from LinkedIn. And then day 3 is all about how to take action. So we look at the sales process of how to sell online and how to qualify your ideal client, so you're not going and wasting time on the wrong ones. And then we look at all the different elements, so company page, LinkedIn events, hashtags, recommendations, all the elements that you should have. Okay, so that's how the 3-day workshop goes. It is all delivered by Zoom and we have regular breaks, but the beauty about that is, you can do it in your pajamas if you want. And the groups are very small. We do groups of 6 or maximum 6, because I want to give time and give feedback to every part of your process. And that's why that's important. And who is it for? Is it right for you? Is what you might be asking. Well, I'll tell you who it's for. It's for you if you have if you are either starting out in business or you are already in business and want to become more visible. It's definitely for you if you are all about building relationships with your customers and you want to have repeat business or have business that comes into you. It's perfect for you if you are starting out in business because you don't have the budget for putting lots of money behind ads, and also putting money behind ads without you understanding your business positioning, your value ladder, and all of those things. Then you're wasting a lot of money. And it's definitely for you if you are an action taker, because in the workshop, like I said, we don't just learn, we do. So, and it's all about being consistent thereafter. I remember seeing a post comment something about consistency. I tell you who it's not for. It's not for you if you just want to do another course and then you don't want to do anything with it. Because, remember, if you win, I win. Because if you're getting results, you can be one of my testimonials that I choose on here. So you want to make sure that it is for you. So here are just some of the people that have earned loads of money. So, and it's not just for women, by the way, we've got men too. So Louise is a high net worth, she works with high net worth patients, which she's managed to attract from LinkedIn now. She's a chiropractor. She had a bricks and mortar business. She had no idea. Diversity and inclusion. Yasmin earned 100 over six figures in diversity inclusion. Over 100k now for Supertel. We already had Joanne Corbishley, 75k. 16 coaching clients for Carol, and Dimitri, who does violins. That's his product. He's now created more than 2,000 leads off of LinkedIn. Okay, so what's included? Well, first of all, you do get the 3-day Leads from LinkedIn workshop delivered by Zoom, and the value of this is 1498. Okay, that's what it's valued at. You also, with that, get lifetime access to the workshop recording. So the workshop is recorded and then you have lifetime access to that, so you can revisit it at any stage. You also, 7 days after you complete the workshop, I then go back in to look at your profile, just in case you've made any tweaks to it, and I will give you a recorded feedback audit. You get access to our online course creator training. So for those of you who are coaches, this is a great training on how to build online courses. You get lifetime access to the private Facebook group, and you get lifetime access to the WhatsApp group that we have, which is a community, and they all support each other. They help each other with each of their posts, so they comment on each other's posts, and also that's a place where I'm in that group, so you can ask questions even after the workshop is done. Plus, you get a downloadable resource and template. Okay, so downloadable resources and templates. You get 3 templates just for your about section on your LinkedIn. You get useful links. Oh God, there's so much. You get all of these things, and that is constantly updated. Okay, so these are the dates. If you want to take a screenshot of this, I've got one coming up in March, 8th of March to Thursday, the 10th of March, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Or the April date is the 26th of April till the Thursday, the 28th of April. They run every 6 weeks or so. Okay. So let me tell you what the investment is. The investment for this, specifically because you are part of the Saturday School, and so this is done for Simon Colson's group, because outside of this, it is 1498. That is the value. That's a recommended price. But for you guys, we will be doing this for 998 only. There's no VAT on that. So it's 998 for you to be able to get on board. And remember, for the March one coming up, there's only 3 places left. The one after has got 6 places available. So if you are interested, I'm just going to add a little link into the chat box for you to be able to book straight on to that workshop and be part of the LinkedIn Lab community and learn hopefully how to get more leads from LinkedIn and attract more clients. Okay, so let's go on to the last piece now of content, and that is the brand builder blueprint. Now, get ready for the next picture. This is one of my favorite pictures, and I hope it's going to make you laugh as much as it makes me laugh. And that is that most people have no idea how to approach clients and employers on LinkedIn, and therefore they lose opportunities because this is what they do. on the first date, you'll make a great father. Right now, every time I look at this picture, it just makes me laugh. A, because I'm single, and so it's that whole thing, isn't it? Do you already start thinking about whether this person would be a great husband in your first date? But also because this is what people do on LinkedIn. That's why you get those salesy messages, and I don't want you to be one of them. So do not be one of them. Okay. So let's just see. Or mother, yes, absolutely, or mother. So so yeah, this is I should actually be more from an equality and diversity point of view, but anyway, this is just a meme that I found. So here we go. This is some of the messages that I have received, would you believe? Okay, so this was a lady, and the first message was, hey Danita, I just read through your about section, very interesting background and impressive that you have managed to achieve. Would love to connect and learn more about what you do. And I thought, yeah, that's a really nice message. I connected with her. Her second message immediately was, I noticed that you are very passionate about what you do. Have you ever thought to package your knowledge into online course, promote it and sell it worldwide? Well, guess what? On my LinkedIn, you will see, if you looked at my profile, you will see that I've got the product, the online course creator on there. I already do online courses. So she obviously hadn't read my profile, had she? So you've got to be careful about things like that. This is another person. Danita, I hope you're staying positive and testing negative. Nice little start for pandemic, I guess. I'm from, and then the company, we help companies similar to VME Business Academy to appointment book and maintain a flow of leads. Can we speak? This is before I've even accepted his connection. That was his first message. Terrible. And then I hope you can see this because it's a little bit small. Hello, mate. That's how he addressed me. Thanks for connecting. How are you? And I went, all good, thanks. And I'd connected because I had put a connection message. So I connected with him. I'm glad to hear that. We have an opportunity that I'm sure you don't want to miss out on. The opportunity would earn you more money and also give you more time for your primary source of income. Now, Anwar, I think it was you who said you're in network marketing. These are the messages you do not want to send, because he's obviously a network marketer, right? Or along those type of lines. How does he know that I need more income? I might be happy doing what I'm doing. How does he know that I have more time to do this? And how does he know that I even want to? He doesn't, because he hasn't actually asked me about it. So if you do that, you will get labeled a social spammer instead of a social seller. Okay, so write down on a piece of paper, I am a social seller, so that you are constantly reminded of that. All right, so here are a few people who actually started to do it right. Okay, so enrolling in the LinkedIn Cashing course with Danita was one of my best decisions. After the course with Dee, I can now say, and this is why, because when she's connected with people, she has written the right type of messaging. After the course with Dee, I can now say I have a new presence on LinkedIn. In a short time, over 3,000 followers, and actually not even followers, connections. So she used to have 69 connections. She now has 3,000 because she messaged people in the right way, you know. When I started on the platform, many times I doubt and thought it was not the right place, as I couldn't get any result or engagement. It's because she was sending the wrong type of messages. So it's really important how you do that, okay? And another one around sending messages. So Alka Patel, who has actually recently just done the course, but she was like, Dee, your stuff works. No shit, Sherlock. We'll post this again once the 4-hour-a-week thread is up, but just had to share. I read a post, and I made it was of a second connection. I commented on that post. This is a key thing. It's about building relationships, remember, not just spamming. I actually commented on their post. I've never commented on one of his posts before. Someone else commented on my comment, and he makes a new connection request. So he then invited her to connect with me because he resonates with what I wrote. I've never seen this play out like this. This feels good. So can you see that when you start to connect with people in the right way, what ultimately happens? Can you see that? Because remember, business is about being seen in the right place at the right time in front of the right people. So I'm just going to now go towards ending this final bit and then take any questions. So just a quick reminder, and actually, for those of you, there's 81 people on this call. So for those of you who have stayed right till the end, I'm going to give you an even better opportunity. Okay, so as a reminder, this is what you're going to learn on the workshop. You're going to walk away with a whole marketing strategy. You're going to learn about your avatar and your ideal client so you can build a profile that resonates. You're going to attract more people through great content. You're going to learn how to do affinity just like those other girls have done, and not become a social spammer. You're going to create lead magnets and promote your showcase and your services and your products. You're going to learn how to take action in the right way, and you're going to become an authority on LinkedIn. Okay. As you know, this was the offer. Saturday School investment. If you pay in full, it's 998. So put a yes in the box if you'd like me to make this even better and worth your while. So just put a yes in the box if you'd like to see a better deal than this. So yes, 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 please. Okay, perfect. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce an installment plan. Because I know for some of you, it might be easier to pay in installments. And here's the best news. Because I trust people and I'm good with that, I like being that type of person. As long as you can still come to the event, even if you haven't yet paid the second installment. Okay, just because I trust that you will pay the installment because it's going to be pre-set up. So there is an installment plan of 599 times 2. Now I'll make it even better for you. Okay, so raise your I was going to say raise your hand. I think I'm on stage. So once again, put the number 5 in the box if you want it to make it even better than this. Seeing as I'm the last person to go to do it before I've shut off. So we've got 5s coming through. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Isn't it interesting? It's still more women doing it. I love it. I love it when there's an action taker. Oh, Christopher, well done. You are a rose between many thorns, or should it be a thorn between many roses? Okay, so if you enroll today, and this, by the way, this offer is open for today only, okay? So during this session, this is what this offer is open for. You will also, every single one of you will get a social media content planner. Now, what is amazing, and I'm so proud of this planner that I've created, is because it's not just a weekly planner, it's a 30-day planner. So it brings your weeks down. It also is a day planner, and it is a monthly planner. So you can actually create your social media content across 5 different platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Clubhouse, and of course LinkedIn. And that will help you become even better when it comes to planning your content and scheduling yourself. And here's what's amazing: you can print this out and put it on your wall. Or if you're somebody who loves having, because of your, obviously you are part of the internet school, if you are more digital, it is a digitable, editable format. Okay, so that's the main thing. So every single person who enrolls on that particular by today, if you enroll on that by the end of this session, you will absolutely get that. Okay. And second of all, I've mentioned Jay Shah, who is my amazing award-winning photographer, and he's a personal branding photographer. So for the first 5 people to enroll and pay in full, you will absolutely get your photographs done by Jay Shah. So you will get professional headshots done by the amazing Jay Shah. And if you're in another country, or if you're abroad somewhere, or if you I don't know, live in Scotland or somewhere like on the other side of the country, he can even do this online. He can actually take your headshots online, which is freaking amazing. So that is it. So for the first 5 people to enroll and pay in full, that's what you get. And remember, think about what one client is worth to you. If one client is worth, let's say, £1,000, you only need to get 2 clients from your LinkedIn, which you will get when you do it right, to actually more than pay for this course. Okay, so that's it. Let's take some questions from some of you who might have questions. But I hope you've enjoyed that presentation so far. I'm just looking for my chat box. Here we go.
That was excellent. Thank you, Dee.
Thank you very much, Claire. So
much stuff there, so much goodness. So I'm sure I'm sure we've got a few questions, I guess. We have had
Absolutely.
some. I don't know if you've covered them, to be honest.
So first of all, Ruth, I put the link in. I think there was. I'm going to go up actually because yeah, there were questions up there. I covered some of them when I was talking about what. So here's a question from Anwar. Some people don't. So, what is the best way to deal with these type of hunters on LinkedIn? Great question, Anwar. So, one of the best ways to deal with them is you can either actually address it. So sometimes I've actually gone back to them and gone. I mean, it's easy for me to do it because obviously I'm a LinkedIn trainer, so I can go and say, by the way, did you know this is not a very good way to build relationships? If you want to know more, come and speak to me. So I do a little bit of fun like that. And sometimes you can just actually send them a question back and say, I'd just be keen and interested. What made you think that this would be something I was interested in? Because you've not asked me any questions. And then other times, depending on your time frame, Anwar, you can literally just go, you know what? I would rather just continue to focus on getting myself out there. Because you will get some of them. Even I get some still, even though my profile is done, but you'll still get people who are not using it. And then Anwar, a bit of a cheeky one, just say that I think you should go to Danita to learn how to use LinkedIn properly. That would be even better. So yeah. And I'm just going up further. If you see any questions, Claire, that I might have missed.
Yeah, okay, I'll have a look.
Yeah.
Quite high up, weren't they?
So what is Clubhouse? Clubhouse is the audio platform, which I did actually answer. So yeah, Anwar said, are these free or paid features? All the features are free that I've talked about. If you did have a question, just put it down again. That would be easier. Danita, are you from India? No, I'm not. I was born here, and my parents are. My dad is from India, but my mum is from East Africa. So, but my dad grew up in East Africa.
Are there any business types that don't work on LinkedIn?
You know what? About 5 years ago, I would have said that product-based businesses aren't the best, but the landscape has changed now, because even with product-based businesses, you need to be able to, you know, so one of my clients, she does artwork, she does paintings, bespoke paintings for, you know, a big company, big architects who, you know, help, and interior designers who help with, you know, interior designing people's houses. So she basically looks for that introducer. She looks to connect with interior designers rather than going to the consumer direct. And I've got some people who do products like giftware. And what they do, what's brilliant about them is the partnerships and joint ventures. So now it's pretty much good for all businesses. You've just got to think differently about who you want to connect to. So think about your purpose and aim for using LinkedIn. And then what you can do is immediately you can figure out that, okay, these are the type of people that I need to get in with because they're on LinkedIn. So yeah.
Excellent. And Anwar was saying, does it work for affiliate marketers, B2B?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I mentioned that earlier on, because you're B2B for a start, and affiliate marketers, you know, again, because you are, you know, affiliate marketing is so rather than constantly talk about, you know, how people can get into affiliate marketing or use affiliate marketing to grow their business, you've got to look at the benefits and features of having an affiliate link to your business, or affiliate or be an affiliate marketer. Just so you've got to, again, it goes back to the beginning and the core. The core is really knowing what is it that your market want, and how can you touch upon the pains and the problems of that market, and what's the solution that you're providing. So write down, Anwar, what is the solution you're providing, and what problem are you solving, and that's going to help you start to do content in relation to that.
I can't see any more, unless there's some at the bottom. Although
yeah, I've got some at the bottom now. So what advice would you give if somebody has two businesses they want to showcase on LinkedIn? How would you work with setting the profile up? So Anwar, if you've got if the two businesses are connected, as in they've got some kind of thread between them, in NLP we'll call this chunking up. You can chunk up so for example, I do public speaking coaching and I do LinkedIn marketing. But my core business is LinkedIn training and marketing. But if I want to, I can talk about visibility, because both of those businesses help with visibility, even though they're two very different vehicles. If the companies are very separate, what you want to decide is which is the best business that's going to get the most traction on LinkedIn, and then you build a company page for the other one. So that's how I would do that. And would it work for someone with an e-learning platform? Leon, yes, it would. Because again, think about the people who want to either house their courses on an e-learning platform, or people who want to use an e-learning platform because they're going to be able to get more traction, or they're going to be able to educate themselves. So for you, sharing your knowledge, know-how, educating, maybe even doing interviews on lives with some of the content creators on that e-learning platform would work really well.
Excellent. There you go.
Yeah.
I have a question. My profile does say all-star, and you said it's going to be all-star. What does that mean? Does that mean like I don't know what that means.
So great question. So an all-star profile, there's a number of criteria that you need to meet in order for it to become an all-star profile. So what happens is, you know, like for example, your profile picture has to be on there. You have to have more than 50 connections. So there's a number of things, even in your work experience. So it's almost like the minimum amount of stuff that you need on there. And then on top of that, it's so where obviously I come in is, first of all, I get you to that kind of all-star profile. And some people may already have that all-star profile, but they've just written everything in a really terrible way. So that's where I, you know, if you saw those for earlier example, it's like, okay, let's bring that picture a little bit further in. Let's change that background image. So that's the additional bit. But yeah, as long as you've got the basics, at least you've got an all-star.
Well, there you go. Thank you. I now know what it means, because I didn't know before.
Rosemary's just said, what's the difference between a personal and company profile? So a personal, where this differs slightly from Facebook is, on Facebook, you will do a lot of, you know, if you had a business, because if you post too many things about your business from your personal profile, Facebook can actually shut you down. And it's happened more recently quite a lot, because there's so many entrepreneurs and business owners now on Facebook, aren't there? However, because LinkedIn is actually a business platform, your personal profile is the best way to actually, which is your main profile, is the best way to actually, you know, showcase yourself and what you do. And also people get to know you. Like, you know, I remember, this was years ago, and I don't even know if you do this anymore, but I remember, Claire, when you used to do memberships.
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah. I've still got her book. You still got it?
Oh, yeah. Don't read it now. It's out of date.
But I remember at the time, you know, that because I knew you and the way that you promoted yourself and talked about things and gave advice and value, for me, when it came to membership sites, I would go to Claire. That was my thing. So it's that association that people have. So 80% of your post should be from your personal and 20% from your company.
Yeah. It is massive. I was thinking about that earlier, about niching down, how important it is, because so many people just, anything membership sites, it'd just be me, because I was a membership expert and it was so niche.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, you know, like I said, you've got the link in the thing if you're, you know, if you're an action taker and you're ready to go. But I did also say to Simon that if for whatever reason you've got any questions that you feel that, okay, I want to ask the question before I sign up, you've got all the details, then I'm just going to put a final link in the chat box. If you've got any questions about the course itself, before you actually make the decision, because you just want some questions answered, then you can book a call. So the LinkedIn workshop, Christopher, the LinkedIn workshop, that is right at the top or above. And then I've just put the one to book in. Oh, I haven't. I
think you did what I did.
I've just the same one. Did you?
I kept sending you messages and not the whole group.
Like, oh my God, I've done that. Okay.
Yeah, so I've reshared it for you. There's the link.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So that one's a workshop link that the amazing Claire has shared. And then I'm just sharing the one if you want to book a call in with me.
Right. That one is gone to host and panelists as well. So make sure you do that to everyone, Dee.
Oh, I've been doing this the whole time, haven't I?
I know. Well, I was doing that too, and it was very annoying. There you go. You did it twice now.
I've done it again.
I just like sending stuff to you. I was like, no one's responding. I said thank you to everyone for all their kind comments. No one saw.
Oh my God.
Very thankful, but
there we go. There we go. They're both in there now.
Yeah, we've got it in so many times. Click all the above.
Click all the links.
All the links. Sign up.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, thanks, Claire, for staying on. I know
That's
sometimes
okay.
you've often had to rush off, haven't you?
Oh no,
And
I'm here for you to the end. Yes, thank you
yes,
very much for coming along. Thanks for
and
sharing all your
thank you
expertise.
to everybody as well for staying on with me as well.
Yeah, excellent. Right, well, make sure you sign up. Thank you, Dee. It's lovely to have you. Enjoy your event. Have a good day.
I will do.
Exciting event, a real event. Seeing hotel chairs brought it all back.
I know, absolutely. Oh,
Really
awesome.
good day. Anyway, take care, Dee.
All right, then, take care.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Right, so that brings us to the end of Saturday School. So well done. If you're still here, you get the badge being here to the end. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you've taken some value from today. Remember to just put something in place, or do something, take an action. So just start sharing on LinkedIn. So I started sharing on LinkedIn, and like I said, it gave me results. So just start today. So have a lovely weekend, everybody. I will see you in a few weeks. The PDF, I'll try. I did put the PDF in before into the chat, but it didn't seem to. Let me see. I'll try again. So here's my PDF. Right. There you go. Is that there? Hopefully you can see it now. Can you see it? It should be me to everyone. So you want to contact the Internet Business School. It is internet. It's very, very catchy. This Internet Business School. So many S's at gmail.com. There you go. So if you have any requests for what you want me to talk about next month, do let me know. And that's it. I think you should have the link. You should have the PDF above from my slides, so you can go to the links, and that's it. It's a wrap, everybody. The weekend now starts. Yeah, so that's it. You haven't got the PDF. Oh. Well, I don't know what to do. You can email me if you'd like to. I will put my email address here, and I will send you the link. There you go. Email me and I'll send it you. I cannot work the technology. So many LinkedIn audio and podcasts. Yeah. Right. Bye, everybody. Have a lovely weekend. Thanks for staying. Thanks for being here. Yeah, and I will see you all soon.